Tonight we are completing our 4-week Advent theme of learning about the four-chambered heart. This Christmas Eve we strive for the full, open, clear, and strong heart that Jesus had for all of us. 3 weeks ago here we prayed to feel full-hearted about the people and situations in our lives. And for those occasions that we noticed a half-hearted feeling, we evaluated whether or not some placements in our lives are no longer a good fit. 2 weeks ago, we prayed to have an open heart to one and all. And for those instances that our heart has been closed off, we honored the need to protect our heart when it gets hurt and has to close down, but made an attempt to soften and reopen it with compassion for ourselves and for others. Last week we prayed to have a clear heart. For those circumstances in our lives that we are unclear about, the times when we are confused, we learned not to rush into action, but to honor that process of waiting for clarity, of praying for guidance, of seeking wise counsel, and of not moving forward until the way becomes more clear. And finally, tonight we come to the last chamber of the four-chambered heart, our desire to be strong-hearted. This occurs when we have the courage to be authentic, truthful, and to live fully all of who we are. This happens when we pay attention to what has heart and meaning for us, and we choose to support those things 100%. I can think of no better persons to show us what it is like to live a strong-hearted life on this Christmas Eve than Mary of Nazareth and Joseph of Bethlehem. A few weeks ago, I saw a musical that was in town called The Unusual Tale of Mary and Joseph's Baby. This play focused more on the characters of Mary and Joseph, living as first-century Jewish refugees, fleeing Bethlehem for Egypt to escape the political killings of King David. Joseph was a hard worker living under the occupation of the Roman Empire. He and Mary were engaged to be married and had hopes of living a good life together, despite the political oppression that surrounded them. Mary was distraught by the hardships that she saw all of her people enduring. In Luke 1, she says, God has brought down the powerful from their thrones and lifted up the lowly. God has filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty. She believed that nothing was impossible with God, and she wanted to be able to help her people to overcome oppression. Suddenly an angel appeared and said that she would give birth to and parent a baby who would reign over the house of Jacob. Maybe she thought her son would become the political or the religious leader and ruler of her people, and that would end the reigns of King Herod and the Roman Empire. She responded to the angel, "Here I am, the servant of the Lord. Let it to be with me according to your word." However, a problem arose. She was pregnant before marriage, and Joseph knew the baby was not his. In those times, Joseph could have had Mary stoned to death for this illegitimate pregnancy. But that was not the kind of man Joseph was. So instead, he planned to protect her from public disgrace and quietly end their engagement. However, then he had a dream that he chose not to dismiss upon waking, a dream urging him to go through with their marriage and help to raise this baby who would one day help to save their people. Can you imagine the strength of heart it must have taken to tell your fiancé that you are pregnant? The baby is not theirs. And even though having and keeping this child will put all of your future plans at risk, you believe it to be a godsend, and you are willing to offer yourself up to God's hard-to-believe and far-fetched vision. Can you imagine the strength of heart it must have taken to marry someone pregnant with another's child, to raise this baby as your own, and then to flee your home country in order to protect this unconventional family that you have given your life for? My Christmas Eve sermon last year, I read it this morning. It spoke about the dumpster fire mess of things that loomed before us, and we were not wrong. This year has been tough. But if I have learned anything this year, it is that our strong-hearted voices and presence matters, and it matters greatly. Time and again, whenever I thought showing up and speaking up would have little to no effect, and I did it just because I knew it was the right thing to do, I have been shocked and surprised and deeply grateful to witness that eventually, when more people live from a place of strong-heartedness and courageously speak and live truth, love does prevail over evil. So if we truly want to honor the Christ child this Christmas, I would invite us, like Mary and Joseph, to pay attention to what has heart and meaning in our lives, to not be distracted by how society says things are supposed to happen, but to have the courage to go against unjust customs and to be 100% authentic, to listen to our dreams and to the angels around us, and believe that with God, nothing is impossible. Merry Christmas.